Welcome to Art 123. So a couple things. One, I'm setting a timer for 10 minutes. That's my goal. That's my new goal for sort of the new year. It's actually still the old year, but in the new year, when I record things, I'm trying to keep them just down to a little 10-minute nugget. You may have noticed the way I was limbering up before recording this. Now, one thing you should know is that it takes about 6 to 7 seconds between the time I press the button to record before, like, it starts recording the audio, but the video doesn't sync up for a little while. And I mention this because at one point last year, I used a lot of screencasts in this class, obviously. And at one point last year, one of my students said, "Hey, Sean, there's one of those screencasts where at the very beginning, you kind of like ripped a big one." And clearly that student was under the impression that that was farts. And that was not farts. I just want to tell you that right now because I do reuse some materials that I have recorded during the pandemic. If I have a perfectly good demo that I have recorded and the captions are there and it's all, the content is good, I will reuse that. But so that means that there might be a screencast in there somewhere that you might think is farts, but it's not farts. Here are my notes for today. Number 1 down. Number 2, hi. Welcome to Art 123. Only gets weirder from here. Let's see. Let's talk about this class. Trying to do this in a quick, succinct sort of way. I've recorded a separate screencast where I talk about the syllabus and kind of butchered that in that it felt way too brief because there's so much to get through there, but I think there's enough there that'll get you through. Let's see, so start here. Well, for one, just here it is. Oh, whoops, I want to look at it like you look at it. Sorry, that was the way I look at it. Here we go. This is what you see when you go there. Couple things. One, I'll just start at the top down. Do this required COVID info here. Just in the last 4 minutes before I started recording this, I received a PDF of COVID info slideshow that I am required to require of you, okay? Because we're gonna meet on campus on Tuesdays. So for us to meet in person, you need to just go through and read that, okay? You don't have to take the test, but go through, look at it, make sure that you know how it all works. But it all comes down to the fact that you have to be vaccinated, which you already know that, and you have to wear masks, and you have to keep your mask over all the different breathing holes of your face. And we basically have to be distanced at 3 feet at a minimum. And we'll talk about that more once we actually start meeting. Let's see, I'm going to go into this before you do anything else tab and hit these big things. 1, I will use Canvas to send you updates, announcements, and communicate with you if I need to send you messages. So make sure that you are prepared to receive those. 2, most of our content is asynchronous. That is, every week I'll be posting up a new week's module to Canvas, and then you kind of have the week to work on this stuff. But this is exciting this term in that we're also going to be meeting on Tuesdays. But not everyone is going to be meeting at the same time, okay? Comes down to the fact that we can only have 4, maybe 5 students in a classroom at a time. And so what I've done is I've broken the classes up into these groups. Group A, Group B, Group C, and Group D, okay? Here in this chart, you can see the time and day that you will be showing up. So it's going to be every other week, okay? I decided to do it this way so people can't fall too far behind and get lost, okay? So every other week, you're going to show up for 2 hours, and that is how we will deal with the darkroom portion of this class. It's also just a way that we can meet in person and catch up on anything that we need to. Bloop, bloop. Oh, whoops. There may have been some other things on that page. Let's see. Office hours. I will also do a Zoom session every Thursday at noon. Thursday at noon might change, but for now, consider it Thursday at noon. I'll get a sense of what actually works better for a majority of people, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay. Let's see. I'm such an offender at using all caps. I do it all the time because I am so excited, but it's been pointed out to me that I just sound like an angry jerk. I'm trying. I'm learning. I'll try to be better about that. There's a link here to click on if you need to request a laptop or a hotspot from Clark. If you do need to do that, do it soon. But also do it, you know? Like if you're having trouble, you need stuff, because you are going to need a machine that you can download and install Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Bridge on, because we're going to need those for the class. There's not really a workaround in that regard. There are some other sources here if you're going to buy things. Like if this applies to you, hit me up. I'll talk you through and we'll figure out the best way to sort of move forward. Let's see. What else do you need to know? Introduction, go through it on your own. Basically, the first thing I'd point out is just every week, start at the top, move your way down. Okay? As I look at this, I realize that I'm going to make some changes between now and what hits you, where I will try to make it even a little easier in terms of just organizing the Canvas page. But every week there will be a new module, and that module will be split up into things to read and watch, and then another section that is things to do. Okay? And so go through those. I will also add one where I maybe just note what we're doing in the lab portion of things that day. Let's see. I'm not going to bother reading. I'm not going to spend time going over the course outcomes and objectives, but they're there. You can look them up. Minimum technology, digital literacy skills. You are going to need to download those things and install them on your home computer, okay? So that can sometimes be a little challenging for people. If you run into trouble with that, contact the Tech Hub ASAP, and they'll help you get that sorted out. Let's see. There is a page here for how to check out a camera from the school if you need one. There is a specific protocol. You have to send a deposit to the cashier's office. You have to send a receipt showing you gave the deposit to the cashier's office, etc. So, you know, follow those steps if you need to check out a camera. Let's see. Support. Technical and otherwise. There's a page there with, you know, different links to all sorts of different support if you need it. Inspiration, those will be tied up with an assignment that comes later on, but for now, go ahead and start looking at photography. Okay, these are all different websites that I wholeheartedly suggest you dig into. Now, week 1, there's the intro and learning outcomes, a syllabus and policy quiz. The main things for week 1 are make sure that, I haven't put it up yet, but I will be adding, I think it'll be here in the Intro to Us section, there will be a screencast where I talk through the syllabus. Make sure to watch that and then take the syllabus and policy quiz to make sure that you know what the policies are that we'll come to again and again. Late work, for example, that kind of thing. There's a very important lecture called The 5 Fingers. I say it's very important because it really does sort of frame the way that I think about and talk about photography over the course of the entire term. So make sure to hit it. It is probably an hour long when all is said and done, but it's broken up into 5 different little parts. So I would suggest with all of this, take it all in bite-sized chunks. Okay? Zoom school sucks. Zoom school is hard. Zoom school is hard to just like sit there and passively do things. So watch 10 minutes, go eat a snack, go shoot hoops, go for a walk, go outside and dork around with your camera and fail until you learn what you're doing. You know, like go do something physical, then come back, watch another one. Okay? Spread it out a little bit that way. You will learn better that way. Let's see, there is another day there for how cameras work. So this is, that's a big one. That's like a solid, there's my 10 minutes. That is like a solid hour plus, probably hour and a half at least, of different little screencasts explaining how cameras work. One thing I'd say is that keep in mind it's a 5-credit class. If we were together in the classroom, that would be 6 hours of classroom each week, every week, okay? Right now, you basically get, on average, 1 hour each week. So that means there's 5 hours of other stuff, okay? And so don't skimp on the lectures. Like I say, they're broken down into small pieces, but you just got to go through each one piece by piece by piece. Let's just pull this up, just so you can see this how cameras work day, for example. There's one video here, screencast number 1, screencast number 2, 3 little 3-minute videos that I pulled off YouTube. 1, 2, 3 other screencasts to complete that day's lecture. This is the kind of thing that normally would just be one day in a classroom, non-stop, 2 hours, okay? In this form, it's a little harder. I tried to break it up into these small pieces. Let's see, there's also a follow-up demo here that kind of goes into a little more detail and slowly walks you through. The full stop chart will make sense once you deal with the camera stuff. And then at the end of all that is the scavenger hunt assignment, your first assignment. Now, one thing I will stress about all the assignments is you're going to need to pay attention to light and shoot when there's daylight, okay? You're not going to be able to get through this class by only completing assignments in your dark house the night before they're due. You're going to need to look ahead at the calendar, at your schedule, and at the weather even, to be able to sort of give yourself time to complete the required work. I'd also say throw yourself in. You know, don't hold back. I'll never hold it against you for turning in more than any assignment requires. And let it be fun. You know, challenge yourself to make the most creative, fun, wild photos you can, and push yourself in that way. I'm going to stop there, I think. Let me just see. So, oh, no, hold on. One other thing. Some old, don't get confused. So the screencasts that make up this class, some of them will be new. I'm recording this one fresh right now, so it's never been used before. But some of them will be within the past 2 years, right? And in some cases, I even recorded some of them for different schools. I also, in the past, have taught at Portland Community College and at the University of Portland. Same class, just different schools, okay? So sometimes I will be using screencasts that instead of Canvas, it might be Blackboard or Moodle or something that another school uses. Don't get thrown off. The content, the overall idea is all still just the same, but those specifics might be a little bit different for that particular day. I can't think of any situation where it's going to be problematic. In situations where it's going to be problematic, I'm trying to record new stuff, but there's just such a time lag that gets complicated. Anyway, so know that there might be some older things, or even sometimes I might be using Canvas, but I might be using the Canvas page from the same class a year ago in winter of last year. Again, the details might change a little bit, but the general ideas are all going to be the same, okay? So just hit me up if there are questions, if anything's confusing, and I will see each of you in person at least once every 2 weeks, which is kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to stop there. My 10 minutes went 15, as it's going to every time, I know. All right, hit me up. Any questions? Good to meet you. Hi. Bye.